Hey y'all, it's me, Shakira G again, back with another video. If you want to see how I did this glue-in weave, then stay tuned. So what you see me doing here is using a regular ball cap, and this is only for the back. When I do my glue-ins, I make sure that I protect my hair with protective shield before I do this process, so I'm not just raw dogging my hair right now. And I do it around the edges and around the top to the other edge. I don't really do the back part because I'm gonna put glue there anyhow. So I go ahead and dry it, and I cut off the excess cap that's in the front and around the edges, and then I put on my thin cap that I told you I got from the beauty supply for about $2. I bought regular stockings because stocking is the business when it comes to laying these frontals, because it lays really flat and it's not a lot of layers, if you get what I'm saying. The thinner the cap, the better. As you can see, my edges are growing back from my first video. You guys can reference back to my 5x5 closure video, jet black hair, to see my edges before, and this is about 3 weeks later. When I tell you my stuff worked, it worked. No lie. Anyhow, we're going to the next step, which I already cleaned my forehead off with alcohol, and I usually use scalp protectant as well, but I skipped that because I low-key forgot. And then by the time I laid down my holding spray, it was too late for me. So what you see me using is Fantasia for those edges, to hold the edges down. I'm not really concerned about my edges getting brittle or dry because I use my oil, and my oil is sufficient enough to keep my edges intact. So you see me blow drying to make sure that it's nice and hard all the way around, and to add more protection to my hair on top of that shield protectant for hair glue. Now you see me just cutting the excess cap. I make sure that it's pretty much so covering my hairline to protect me from the actual hair glue. I don't use actual hair glue all of the time, but when I do, I try to make sure that I protect my edges as much as I can. I can go down lower with the cap, but I am not afraid of the product because I'm used to this product on my hair. So if it does get on my hair, I really don't care because I know how to remove it properly. What you see me use is Ruby Kisses cream foundation for the front of my hairline. It's level 15, and it's the darker color in the level 15, which I feel like gives me the best melt. Which is Beautiful Hustler brand. IBH Slays is the website, but her name is Beautiful Hustler. If you guys don't know who she is, you should go ahead and follow her. She's a beast. Beautiful Hustler. I used 2 layers of her lace glue because I don't plan on keeping this style more than 4 days. Pretty much so that's about the longest I keep my hairstyles, is about 4 to 5 days. And 5 days is stretching. I'm usually a 4-day person. So after I do the 2 layers and I wait for it to dry, I apply my frontal first. Now, why do I do my frontal before I stitch it on or anything? I just feel like because the hair was already previously cut, that it's already the shape of my hairline, so it's easier for me to apply it like this. And as you can see, there's a rip in my HD lace, and the way I got it to lay down really well still with that rip is that I laid the rip as close together as possible and pressed it into the glue. Now, as you can see, like what I usually do in all my videos, I separate my baby hairs from the actual frontal, and I just make sure that the baby hairs are looking realistic. I cut them Then I spray them with hold and spray and tie them down. Now, mind you, I don't keep my hair in these styles for more than 4 days, so I did not use a lot of glue. Now, this next step, I'm tacking down the edges of my frontal. Yes, I have no braids, but that doesn't matter because I made a good foundation with the glue and the protective shield, so it will keep the thread in place. As I do this process of stitching my frontal down, I anchor both sides. When I say I anchor, I dart it. That is able to hold the frontal in place, but it's not pulling. Now, for some reason, I could not find my hair razor, so I just used a razor blade to cut off my baby hairs. They were already previously cut, so all I did was follow the guideline. And I told you guys I love my sideburns, so I bring my fake hair about the same length of my sideburns to cover that up. Now, as you can see, I am a pressiana. I love to press my hair. And I'm not sorry about my hot combs being so old, but they work the best when they're older. I don't know if you've heard that before, but they work the best when they're older, real and legit. So moving on to the next thing, I make sure that I separate the baby hairs from the actual frontal pleats, and I press until it looks like it's coming off of my scalp. And as you can see, it's turning into a scalpiana already. Now, once I use my elastic band, which I got off of Amazon for $5 for a yard, I tie it down in the back as I start gluing in my tracks. Now, when I did this, I made sure I brought the frontal forward, and I braided the hair out of the way. And on top of that, I made sure that my band in the back was way towards the bottom so that I don't glue on top of the band as I wait for the front to mount. This is my beautiful Cambodian hair. Yes, it's custom colored. I love this hair, and because I love this hair so much, I don't cut my tracks. So it's not full bundles, but I made sure that I didn't cut the hair more than it needed to be cut. I don't think I even cut this hair one time. I probably cut one time for the top piece when I glue in, but I doubled the bottom part because I love fullness at the bottom of my glue in weaves. So I used natty glue. I made sure that I folded the hair and I pressed the side down with my flat iron. And when I do that, is to assure that the folded track will lay flat. Now all you see me do now is press it against my head to make sure that it adheres nicely and evenly, and I fold the track. But once I fold the track, instead of me trying to find where to put the glue, I just made a line right on top of where I just placed the first track, and I folded the hair. So when I do this, guys, I make sure that I follow through with a flat iron to make sure that those edges are laying flat after I blow dry, as you will be able to see later on in the video. And all I do is keep on stacking until I get the fullness that I desire. And then I make sure if I'm folding any of the tracks that I'm using my flat iron to press the edges down, that it's not bulky on the sides. Just a quick tip, how I lay my tracks when I'm doing my glue ends is how I'm gonna wear my hair. Due to the fact that I wanted a lot of fullness, I did a U-shape method until I got to the top, and then I started to lay the smaller tracks straight across. And the reason why I did that is because it allows more fullness on the sides. Now, if I was going for a more flat look, I would have probably used a bit less hair, and I would have made sure that I went across instead of doing the U shape when I glue in my tracks, if you guys understand what I'm saying. Now y'all, this frontal is old and it's a HD frontal. Though it's an HD frontal, I've used this frontal a whole lot of times. I've colored it. I've done a lot to this frontal, so it's a miracle that it's still standing on its own limb. I had to ventilate some of this frontal because this frontal was shedding due to all the color that was done to it. So I replaced a lot of the hair on the frontal, and that's why you see me using mascara and eyeliner to fill in those lighter spots at the top of the frontal. I wasn't worried about my hair or track showing because the video makes it look more profound, but in person you can't really tell. And I'm gonna end up finessing this hairstyle anyhow, because if you guys don't know by now, I like styling my frontals. I just wanted to do a regular style for you guys, that you guys could see how versatile your frontal can still be, even though it's old. If it has a patch here and there, girl, finesse that thing. It's not time to throw away until it's super dead. But for me, I know how to ventilate, so I just filled in all the gaps. And I could do even more work on this frontal, but I do single knots, and single knots are really, really thin. And I could do double knots and use more hair, but I just prefer the single knots when I ventilate. If you guys don't know what ventilating is, it's basically replacing the hair after it sheds, because I also do wig repair in my business. Now you guys see me curling under my baby hairs this time. Usually I curl them up and I use holding spray to keep them down, but today we're gonna do wispy baby edges today, like my baby would call them, baby edges. Wispy baby hairs. I'm not gonna use a lot of product to keep them stuck down this time, even though I prefer my edges like that. Some people don't, so I'm just showing you guys how versatile I am as a hairstylist and as an artist in my craft. I can do whatever you ask and whatever you want when it comes to frontals and closures. And just to show you that you don't have to be stuck with one style of baby hair. You don't even need baby hairs. I'll make sure that I do a non-baby hair video soon. It won't be anytime soon, but it'll be soon, y'all. Everything is coming. I told you, summertime fine. When I tell you I'm gonna be summertime fine and I'm coming with these looks, y'all gonna be amazed. But just stay tuned and keep on watching. And also I have a video on how I ventilate frontals and closures. So the video prior to this was the video of me making my own closure from scratch. You guys could go and see how I put the knots back on the lace. Now, I wouldn't be me if I didn't use the pressing comb. I love to press on these frontals because for me, I treat frontals just like how I treat my real hair. I don't, tiptoe around it. I'm not afraid. I make sure I get close, and I make sure that the hairs that are very, very close to the actual lace, that I get it all. And that's how you get that real realistic look. The closer you get to the frontal without burning it and pressing it out that way, the flatter your installs will be. I do Flatiana hairstyles. I do not do that off scalp stuff unless you want to, and I can actually do a video on that as well, and that will be coming up soon as well. I'm just telling you, the opportunities are endless when it comes to these frontals, so don't be afraid. Like, do your thing when it comes to these frontals. Don't be scared to mess it up, because sometimes you gotta lose to win, girl. I just need a moment of silence because low-key I did that, okay? Them baby hairs are looking real fluffy and thick. I love my baby hairs thick because my natural hairline is on a fuller side. I have videos coming with me just wearing my regular hair, and you guys will be able to tell as well that my real edges are pretty full, so that's why I do so much and I go heavy on my baby hairs. But now let's get to those flat iron curls. Like I told you guys, to get a good foundated curl, you always start in the middle and you curl, tap, 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 curl, tap, tap, tap. And you make sure that your hair doesn't get stuck in the curling iron. But if you have really, really nice hair, you won't really get that issue because this hair is pretty nice. I didn't really have that issue. If you really want to see how to do flat iron curls, I have a short on how to do flat iron curls. So you guys should go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. If you like my videos and you like my content, like, forward, and subscribe. Press that like button, because the more you press that like button, the more people that I can get to. And that'll truly be a blessing to me. Now, as you guys can see that I just did all the curls. I skipped that because everything is repetition. It's just the same thing over and over again. And if you guys are struggling with your curls, you have to practice. Practice makes perfect. And that's a lie. Practice just makes you better. And the more you practice, the more you'll be able to do it. The only reason why I'm able to do what I do is because it's something that I do all the time. And I make sure that I continue to grow. So even though my last install might look a certain way, rest assured the next install will be better. And you guys want to progress, not degress. So like you can see, I tap, 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 I roll and tap, 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 and that's what creates these curls to be so tight and nice. And just stay until the end and see the finished product. This hairstyle came out so good, y'all. This custom color, this honey blonde on top of ash blonde, on top of brown blonde. I was just in love. But stay tuned to the end of the video. I want to talk to y'all about what I did right here. I made sure that my part in the middle was defined enough that when I curl this whole roll together that the curls come out evenly. This is how you get an even curl on both sides, y'all. While y'all playing trying to do the left to the right, just put the middle together and tack it at the top. And that's my pro tip. But here we are. We're at the end of the video. Thank you guys for watching. And I hope to get a like for it or subscribe from you. Even if you don't like it, it is what it is, y'all. Y'all gonna be seeing more than me. So prepare to be sick of me. Here's the finished product. I love this hair. I love the style. I love how everything came out. And I hope you love it too. Don't forget to like, forward, and subscribe. Have a blessed day or night. Goodbye.